about the production process, making a film. How can you keep the same spirit and enthusiasm during the whole time? Do you have ups and downs, or how do you do that? And what about when you have new ideas in the middle of the film? Do you change, or do you say, that one will go for a future film, and let me now focus on finishing this work?
I think the first part of the question is something where the energy, the director sets the energy of the picture. And so one of the reasons I find it difficult shooting is because I have to keep that energy going, keep the crew moving, and keep the actors energized. And I find that if I have a cameraman, a director of photography, and an assistant director who have the same spirit, the minute I start to weaken, they pull me and we move forward. And this is very important. Michael Ballhaus was good that way. Under the worst circumstances, he always said, we'll find a way. And he did. You know, he taught me a lot. He said, you know, just be glad for what we have. Don't wish for anything else. This is what we have. We have nothing there. We thought we'd have this. We don't have it. We thought we'd have that. We don't have it. This is what we have. Let's work with it. You're right. Let's go. And so that's a very important thing, to have the people that closest to you. Because you do get the ups and downs the downs are very serious, very, very difficult. And in terms of getting new ideas, it depends if it furthers the film. It depends what it means for the picture. You know, I think we try it. In the case of Departed, we had so many new ideas. We kept writing with Bill Monahan and Matt Damon and Leo and Jack kept rewriting throughout, and Vera Farmiga. She helped write some of her scenes with Bill Monahan. Working together with the writer, I should say. Very, very. And we kept her scenes to the very end, in fact, to work her character out. So that was a process that was never finished, really.
Well, there's a lot of questions here that ask pretty much the same thing in different ways about, would you consider making a film in Egypt?
Oh, wow. Of course I would.
Well, that's the next question. Is, you know, we're here in Alexandria, and once upon a time, Alexandria was, well, 2 or 3 times in its history, the most interesting city in the world. The most exciting things in the world happened there. Would you consider a period like that to make a film?
That's a dream of mine always. Yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with that period too.
Ancient period.
Yeah, well, before that.
Can I tell them a secret that your middle name is Mark Antonio?
Mark Antonio, that's right.
It is true. It's true. I'm not making it up. It really is true. Because Mark Antony gave Cleopatra, Julius Caesar helped burn the old library.
I know.
And Mark Antony gave her 200,000 scrolls. Yeah, from Pergamon. So he has a very soft spot now.
This is the story. That would be an amazing story. You know?
What did that mean?
When I was a child, when I was not allowed to play sports, they take me to the movie theater. And then I'd come home after school, and I would draw pictures. They were like storyboards, and they were basically about the ancient world. All films about the ancient world. So this is something that I've always wanted to do.
Well, I think some of us will pursue this with your office after. The other question really is about, you know, we're very grateful that you took on the Mummy as a film to restore, and we're very grateful for that, but would you have any views about contemporary Egyptian cinema?
Well, I'm just now becoming more aware of it. I've seen, over the years, I've seen some Shaheen films, of course, and I've seen a number of the newer Egyptian cinema. I'm hoping to see more. I know there are directors here today. I'd love to see the films, and I will look at them. And so to become more aware of exactly what is happening in terms of Egyptian cinema today, and young directors too. Because for me, the issue is, as you get older, it's time. The time you spend looking at something. Because that's time that you need for yourself usually. But I find that discovering, quote unquote, or being exposed to new ways of thinking and different ways of storytelling, it's something very exciting and inspiring to make my own pictures, you see. So therefore, I'm open to seeing as many as possible.
Well, the last two questions, I'm going to combine them into one because I think they're extremely important. And one is really a suggestion to answer first. The first one is that we're now living through a fairly difficult period between the West and the Muslim world generally. And there was a question whether cinema could break the ice between these two worlds. And the second question is really, do you think that you could help facilitate a way of academic collaboration between American film students and Egyptian film students to work together on a joint project? Now that would be a way perhaps of answering the question of the confrontation.
That's a great idea. You see, we have, we started this, the impulse for this became the World Cinema Foundation, restoring films from different parts of the world. Because I go back, and I've said this many times, I go back to the time I saw Sajid Ray's film, Pate Panchali, on television in America. And I was watching the film, and I had already seen the Italian neo-realist films. But I said, this is fascinating. I said, because this is about people that usually, in films about India, they're always in the background.
Yeah.
Usually the British and the Americans up front, you know. So I'm saying, this is fascinating. You know, that and I became aware that films made from the people within the culture, not from the West's point of view, but from the point of view of within the culture itself. This is what's going to be so valuable, I think, for not only for the past films, but for the future. And I think cinema is really, you know, people, whether it's projected on a big screen, which be very rare in the future these days, the way it's going, or on an iPod or on your computer. The computer. Young people are seeing films on computer. You're able to see films from all around the world, different cultures. And this is what's going to help, I think, bring at least the beginning of an understanding and an appreciation of each other's culture and a respect for each other's culture. And I think cinema could be a very, very strong and important tool.
Well, I think we've taken so much of your time. You've been so generous with your time. And really, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great privilege to thank Martin Scorsese, great artist, great director, and a great human being.
Thank you.